Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty radical method for personal change, breaking down the three phases of self-transformation. Okay, so let's just jump right into this really provocative idea that the path to massive, life-altering growth doesn't start with a big announcement, but with a strategic retreat from the world. This totally flips the script on that whole build in public trend you see everywhere. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the 5 key phases of this whole method. We'll start with why you'd even want to disappear in the first place, then get into the nitty-gritty of becoming a ghost and upgrading yourself in silence, and finally, we'll cover your big reappearance and what life looks like after the transformation. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the case for disappearing. We're going to look at how telling everyone your goals can actually wreck your chances of success before you even get started. You know, the source material here points to a kind of hard truth about human nature. When you share your biggest ambitions, it can really attract a lot of jealousy and pressure. And this isn't just being cynical, it's a real sociological tendency. Announcing your growth can make other people feel insecure about where they're at, and that might cause them to, consciously or not, try to undermine you, just to keep their own spot in the social pecking order. Now, what's really interesting here is the huge contrast this slide lays out. When you announce your goals, you get this tiny little dopamine hit, right? A premature feeling of accomplishment. But working in secret, well, that builds intense focus and a powerful mystique around you. And it all leads up to results that speak way louder than words ever could. And that brings us to Section 2, which is the first real actionable phase, becoming a ghost. This is where you truly master the art of strategic silence. So the first steps are all about taking back control of your most valuable asset, your information. As you see here, it's about controlling your words, stopping the constant oversharing, and becoming a bit of a mystery. When people ask what you've been up to, your answer becomes intentionally vague, something like, not much, just working on some things. So the crucial point here is that your words literally have the power to shape your reality. Your tongue can be your own worst enemy, just leaking out all your energy and focus. By getting it under control, you start to control your world. Silence becomes your greatest weapon for change. Okay, this next step, this is maybe the hardest one of all. You have to stop caring what other people think. This means totally reprogramming your brain to ignore all that external judgment. Our fear of what people think is usually way overblown because of a powerful cognitive bias that makes us feel like we're constantly being watched. And this just perfectly illustrates the illusion we're all fighting against. We think we're on a stage with a spotlight on us, but in reality, most people are the main characters in their own movies. They're way too busy with their own problems to be scrutinizing yours. Once you really truly get that, you're free. Which brings us right into Section 3, the silent upgrade. So, you've disappeared. Now, the real work starts. This whole phase is about hiding your failures and working in the shadows, where your struggles can fuel your progress in private. This right here is the core philosophy of the silent upgrade. I mean, our culture loves to romanticize the grind. But at the end of the day, the world rewards results, not how much effort you put in. Your journey is only really respected after you've reached your destination. Just think about it. Thomas Edison had 1,000 failed attempts before he got the light bulb right. Or Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and his early rocket failures. We don't remember all the stumbles, we celebrate the final triumph. Your one great success will completely erase 100 failures. That's the blueprint you're following. Your goal here is not to go looking for pity or for someone to validate how hard you're working. It's about internalizing every single setback, learning from it in private, and just keeping it moving. You're not looking for a pat on the back, you're looking to absolutely shock the world with what you finally achieve. All right, now for Section 4, the reappearance. After that intense period of silent hard work, it's time to get ready to re-enter the world. But, and this is key, only when the transformation is complete. That way you emerge as an almost unbeatable version of yourself. This phase requires absolute, single-minded focus, laser focus. You define exactly what success looks like, a new business, a degree, a physical transformation, whatever it is. And then you cut out everything else, social media, gaming, mindless TV. Your entire life has to revolve around hitting these specific goals. The source material uses this really powerful analogy of two fighters.
As the chart shows, the one who trains for 14 hours a day has a massive, undeniable advantage over the one training for 8. It's really simple math. Your input dictates your output. The only person who can beat the fighter training 14 hours is someone willing to train 15.
And finally, let's look at Section 5, Life After Transformation. Because a very interesting thing happens when you finally achieve what you set out to do in secret. You know, you might start this whole journey thinking the big reward is going to be the goal itself, the new business, the degree, getting that external validation. But the reality is, it's different. You find out that the person you became in the process, that disciplined, focused individual you forged in silence, that's the real prize. That need for everyone else's approval, it just completely fades away. It gets replaced by this quiet confidence and a new, internal, continuous drive to just keep getting better. You end up finding peace not on the stage, but in the focused work you do away from the crowd. So, as we wrap this all up, the final question on the screen is really for you. You've built your new self in the shadows. Are you ready for the light? Because ultimately, this whole journey isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become. And that transformation, that's the real victory.